My name is Dani B. I created the Crowned in Purpose podcast to share the journey that I'm on, along with my guests, on finding our purpose through Christ. We will discuss the complexity of life routines, kids, work life, and family responsibilities, as well as bring light to how our routines are impacting our one-on-one time with Him. Our goal on this journey is to be intentional with our time with God, as well as create life balance to achieve our full potential, spiritually as well as personally. The foundation of this journey starts with Matthew 6:25. But seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. New episodes will premiere every Monday, so please listen, share, and rate as you take this journey with me. I am Dani B, and you are crowned in purpose. Welcome to the Crowned in Purpose podcast. I'm your host, Dani B. I pray that you're doing well, that you're blessed, that you still got your crown on, and you are walking in God's purpose. Today we have Darrin Boomer Williams, straight from the D. Hello. He's a father, a loving husband, a retired global pro athlete, an author, and a serial entrepreneur. Today, we have Darrin on the show to talk a little bit more about family, about faith, and truly him discovering his purpose in every season of his life. Good morning, Darrin. How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. So, Darrin, one of the things, or Boomer, whichever way we want to go with this, right? But that's my point, right? Some people know you as Darrin Williams. Other people know you as Boomer. So that's going to lead us into our first question today, right? Who is Darrin Boomer Williams? Because some people know you as a entrepreneur. Some people may know you as an athlete, and others may even know you for your music. So tell us a little bit more about who you are.
Well, my name is Darrin Williams, or Boomer Williams. That's what everyone calls me. But more importantly, I'm a person. God has granted me many gifts. My goal and my purpose is to use those gifts to help other people. I've been extremely fortunate to play professional basketball internationally on a professional level. But now as a serial entrepreneur and an agency owner, I have a firsthand opportunity to help athletes reach those global levels with basketball. So, that's my purpose. I'm also an author of the book, Basketball Secrets, 10 Secrets to Becoming a Professional Basketball Player, which is quickly becoming a bestseller. So now you can add author to that as well.
Now tell us the name of your business.
So the name of the business is called Ambassy International. We are a Sicilian-based organization that provides international opportunities to athletes. More importantly, we teach players how to put their career in their own hands. And we do that by giving them direct access to the world's top agents, agencies, and FIBA certified teams. So some of the results players experience after working with us, that they ended up signing with new contracts overseas coming out of college. They can get new agent representation. But more importantly, we have a financial literacy phase to our organization that helps players learn how to make money for themselves outside of basketball. So at any cost, there's a transition for them where they can't play. Now they can earn finances for themselves, take care of their family outside of the field. So that's who we are. That's what we do. And that's how we can help.
Awesome. So one thing, because we talked about internationally, and that's where your business, kind of birthed itself. So traveling across the country and having many experiences through playing professional basketball overseas, how did those experiences really shape Ambassy International? How did that truly give you the vision and purpose that you have now within your business, helping other players get to where you were and are today?
Well, first, I want to give credit to the Most High, because He allowed me to go through all of these experiences and then create a company to where I can use all of my expertise to help someone else. So as far with international traveling, like I said, I play professional basketball in Europe, South America, here in the United States. And I found myself going through all of these different situations, getting stranded overseas, not being paid on time, having bad agents or whatnot, but then He allowed me to experience some great successes. So that includes actually traveling to these countries, building global connections, winning multiple championships. So God literally, He gave me that vision to where He allowed me to help people while I was playing to get new contracts. And once I tried to come back into society, try the corporate avenue, I felt that although I was excelling, I felt like that wasn't the place for me. And I just wanted to use my gift. And now that the gift has started to provide for me. And now I feel that this is the opportunity to help others do the same. So I'm extremely grateful. This is a beautiful time. I know that it's COVID-19. This is just us talking.
Right.
So a lot of people may not be in a great situation, but I'm a person that believes in seeing the great out of everything good. You know, God doesn't hold anything back from you that He wants to have. That's good for you. So this is we've been blessed with time. We've been blessed with space. That we've been blessed to actually composite our dreams, write down like what it takes to get it done, and then give us the energy to make it happen. I mean, we've been at home for months and months and months. So hopefully guys weren't watching TV. Hopefully they were, thinking of their dreams and creating that plan to make it happen. But 2021 is going to be the year to really go get it.
I love that during this pandemic, we've been stripped of the everyday behaviors. Okay. And most of the time people would say, I don't have time to do this because I'm at work or I'm driving. Because it used to take me sometimes in Atlanta. Yeah, people in Atlanta know it would take me 2 hours to get to work, 2 hours to get home. That's 4 hours out of my day driving. But knowing that, hey, we have this moment to be quiet, to be still, to get girded in prayer, to be able to speak with God and talk more about what is my purpose. And then, like you said, execution. You got the time, if you're a player, to get fit, to make the connections, because now more than ever, you can talk to anyone, really, to be honest. I mean, it's easier to connect and stay connected. So I love that you bring that up. So that kind of segues us, really into the next question, because talking about the pandemic, how have you sustained your business in the midst of the pandemic, especially because you're dealing with professional sports? So we saw this year where I love basketball, but I was like, I want to see virtually to watch the playoffs. I was like, this is the perfect time where I don't have to travel. I literally can sign up to watch a game, but that also impacts the player. Not, it impacts a fan in a sense, but we worked around that. But for a player, it's a lot different. And then more importantly, players who are playing overseas. So tell us a little bit more about you sustaining through the pandemic. And then if you had to make any adjustments, what were they?
So the actual pandemic, it's crazy because we're still in it. But when it first arrived, it really created a panic worldwide in our industry. So many of the leagues fear of what this disease is or this virus, what it can do to people, the results, seeing everything in the media. So it really it put everybody in fear. I hate to say fear is stronger than love because I know love is the strongest thing. But when people are scared, it can literally stop the entire world. And that's what happened with COVID. So the thing about our business is that we were able to withstand this time because we saw a negative and are still turning it into a positive as we speak. I think every business that encounters a situation where everything stops, they have to get into their creative space and allow pivoting to happen. And that's the best thing about our business is that, although international basketball is, what we do and what we play and how we make a living, it allowed us to actually use our creativity to figure out other ways of using the game and other ways of reaching the people. So in the NBA, you see that all of the games shut down, but then people put their heads together to say, listen, let's create a secluded environment where we have all the teams. Let's live stream this thing out. And it's only one source in one place. And what happens? It's the bubble. That without this situation happening, we wouldn't have never known that we could have playing basketball in one spot and still servicing our customers. As for myself, many of my clients, they play professional. They did not understand how to capitalize off of their previous basketball experience. When they had to pivot more of a virtual learning, virtual training portion of our company that has proved to be successful. Even though the players are not playing, they can still go to our site. They still have access to open jobs. They still have access to new agent representation. They still have access to upgrading their film and their resume. But more importantly, now they can learn all of the different ways that they can make money off of basketball through our service. And it took off for us. I'm happy that it's doing extremely well with our subscribers.
That's perfect. And I love, you got into a space and said, hey, this is reality. This is what's even happening outside of us. But the players still have the ability, to connect to you guys, to be able to have the tools and the resources, because that's a big thing. A lot of times you'll see, for example, yourself, okay, you played overseas, you played professionally, and a lot of times people will get stingy with their knowledge, right?
They
I
sure
had to
will.
learn the hard way. You gonna learn the hard way too. And I love that you said, nope. God has really given me the opportunity to see the good and the bad of my industry. Let me help by representing. Let me help by educating. Let me help by giving you guys resources. And then let me help you by even writing a book. So even if they're not necessarily represented, with your company, guess what? They can still get this book and be able to tap into these resources and be
And
able
do
to
it on their
grow.
own.
There
Yeah.
you go. There you go. Tell people, this is a rule now. To make money, you have to spend money. A lot of people don't want to invest on moving to the next level. So it doesn't mean that, okay, you go to Darrin and Darrin's like, I'm going to charge you $1,000. No, the book is a reasonable price, right?
Right.
And you have to say, I'm willing to make this deposit into my growth. Really, it is. Because the book may cost this, but imagine where it's going to take you beyond what it costs, right? We like to just lean on people and call people up and get the answer right away. But sometimes it takes time. Sometimes it will take reading.
Yes.
It'll take research. And so that goes into our next question, right? Because we talk about this book. Okay, so it is called 10 Secrets to Becoming a Pro Basketball Player. Tell the listeners what positioned you to write this book and your goal for young athletes.
The ultimate goal for young athletes, especially with me being a young athlete growing into an older man in the transition, is to basically give all the knowledge that I can in one swoop, one setting, so that this does not only help you while you're playing, but it helps you after you play. See, in basketball or in sports in general, we play about 10% of our life, right?
Wow.
But you can use that 10% and capitalize and make money for yourself until you pass away. My objective with the book was not only to help people, but to create something that will outlast me while I'm not here anymore. And we talk about how, it takes money to spend money, but it also takes an investment of time. Okay. And with the investment of time, which is our most valuable asset, it would allow us to gain access to different rooms, to people, to different features, to opportunities that we have never thought of ourselves. So that's truly what urged me to write the book. We've had players, and just to tell you what this book is about, the book Basketball Secrets, it teaches players three things. It teaches players and parents how to start their professional or how to start their careers. So this is everything from having the right people around you to finding the proper trainers, to learn about rest and meditation and eating correctly. This book also teaches how to prolong the career. Okay, that's the second thing that it does, because once you get in the door, once you play high school and prep and go to college, now you want to extend that career into the professional ranks. So this book teaches that. Teaches how to obtain and reach the professional ranks, whether it's NBA or whether it's overseas basketball. But the most important thing about this book is that it teaches about the transition. It teaches you how to use your previous basketball experience and capitalize until the end of time. And I can personally tell you, as we are friends, like, I know what it's like not to have money, right? But I know what it's like to have money. I know what it's like to, like I said, be stranded in different countries. I know what it's like to play on bad teams. But I know what it's like to build a business off of the things that I have experienced in basketball. It's been instances, as I told you before, it's been instances to where collectively what I've made in all my contracts with basketball, I literally made that in one day.
Wow.
So, and I will I'll let people's thoughts run away with that. My wife tell me not to tell nobody that, but
I'm
that's
sure
what
she's
happened.
in the back like, really? You just did
Well,
that?
she's upstairs. She's
Okay.
upstairs. See, I had to build my man cave, so I'm in the man cave right now. But she's upstairs with the kids. The kids are in virtual school.
Okay.
But she can attest. She can attest that, you know, because we had the experience of living all over the world, um, living in Europe and in South America, here in the USA. But when that ball stopped bouncing, you are literally thrown into a society where everyone may be quote unquote ahead of you. Because let's think about it. When
Mm-hmm.
you graduate from high school and when you graduate from college, you're going straight into a profession or you're going into a job atmosphere. You play professional basketball, the average career span is about 5 to 6 years. I was fortunate enough to play 10. So when I finished playing 10 years, I had to come back and start at ground zero where everybody started 10 years before me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what positioned me to write the book because my circumstances pushed me into business. And I felt that, listen, the information that I am receiving, I got to get this to my other players because I want to create 1,000 of me. It's like, look, I play basketball. If it doesn't work out, this is what I can do. I don't have to say, all right, I got to put all my eggs in one basket. And when the game is over with, now I'm over. Like, no, now we teach you how to get, this book teaches players how to get dual citizenship. It teaches players how to build their own businesses internationally. It teaches players how to build their own connection. Okay. It teaches players how to take what's inside of them and being able to generate income. And that's what's going to help them prosper after they retire from the game or after they move on from the game.
That's good. And I love that you brought up not just the investment of money, but the investment of time. And I love when we have to discuss that because we live in a society where we like things quick and in a hurry. We are
Exactly.
very much in instant gratification mode. And that is so important. And I think, parents, if you're listening to the podcast, let your younger athletes listen because it's so important for them to understand it takes time. But I also love that even what you said and in the book prepares them for life after. Because a lot of times, younger athletes, they're looking at TV, they're looking at what comes with it, which is the contract and the money. And it's like, oh,
That's right.
that's all I want. That's all I want. Well, you have to be able, and there's also the other side where we have seen professional athletes who retired years later, they're in their 50s and 60s and they're living in their car. That is a real thing. And so it's like, It's a great place that this book shows up in because it's like before you even get out there, before you go internationally, or even if you are there now, you have the opportunity to think broader than the moment you're sitting in. And that is so important because that time thing is a big deal. Time to invest on learning your craft, learning how to develop, but then more importantly saying, let me take this time out also to prepare for the future because a lot of people miss that. They miss that. So I love that you brought that up and I really, truly appreciate that. So that goes into our next question. It just flows so perfectly, right? So you've told us a lot about your experiences and just your purpose in full circle, the good, the bad, right? And different. But let's talk about family because I hear the babies and we know they're in virtual school and you have a beautiful wife.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yes, most definitely. How are you ensuring that you're building generational wealth? Because you even brought up, hey, before I'm gone, I want 1,000 of me. Now, these are not your babies directly. We know that. But we know that book, just messing, right? That book will allow for others to say, wow, man, this has been such a blessing to me because no one was willing to share this with me from the jump. But then you have the family side of it where we want to build that generational wealth where the children may not be athletes at all. Let's talk a little bit more about how you've been focusing on making sure you're building generational wealth.
Well, first thing I want to say is that the key, especially the generational wealth, making sure that you develop the mindset for it. That's the very first thing. You have to understand the importance of, especially being African American or being Black. Let's think about this. Money is just a byproduct. For you to be truly wealthy, you have to be wealthy in your mind first. So when people get this book, and this is just me talking about a book, you are not buying a book. Anytime you read a book, you're not buying a book or you're not reading a book. You are actually talking to a person. For example, this book sold over 5,000 copies, right? So those same people I can't speak to 5,000 people on the phone. It's just impossible.
Right.
But if they have questions they want to ask me and they can't get to me, now they can speak to me through a book because my words are there. And when you look at a book as a human being or the human mind or somebody speaking to you through those pages, you will kind of see that as like you're getting game from the OG, right? So every book that you read, you are picking up game from the OG, quote unquote. So you are gaining knowledge. The most successful people read because they are getting information from their OGs, quote unquote. The more information that you have, the more your mind develops into wealth. But the more that you use what you have learned, the more opportunities that you have to create wealth financially. The second thing that I would say, besides developing the spirit and a mind for wealth, is credit. Credit is such a big thing. I was talking about it last night. That's how credit is a huge thing in our family because for myself as a player, I never had to use credit. I paid cash for everything. For my cars, for my house, for traveling. When I tried to get credit, I could not obtain it because I never had a previous history of credit. But since I started my own business, since I left the game of basketball, since I got put in a position to where I could not move forward without it, I quickly had to learn how credit can be an asset to me on top of the business. To have true generational wealth, you have to put an emphasis on credit because you can have all the money in the world. But if you are not trusted with your money, if you're not trusted with your previous decision making, you will not have an opportunity to do anything. You can't buy property without credit unless you pay full in cash. And who does that? You can't buy new vehicles without credit unless you pay full in cash. Who has all the money to buy $100,000 car at one time? And if you did have $100,000, why would you put $100,000 into a depreciated? It's not even an asset; it's a liability. You know what I mean? Because it's not generating any money for you when you think about it. The only thing that a car and a house and jewelry, all that does to you is it brings the attention, but it brings visual validity amongst other people. You know, so they might think that you're rich and you can get opportunities, but you know if you have money or not. So the second thing from generational wealth is actually credit. The third thing for generational wealth is family. You need family to generate generational wealth. Because if you have a family and if you have more people on the same page with you, now it's not one of you, there's 5 of you, there's 10 of you, there's 15 of you, there's 20 of you. You're able to create your own ecosystem to where now my cousin is a barber or my sister has a real estate company. My wife has a taxation organization. My father owns a bus company. I got another family member, and this is just an example. These another family members that work with the mayor. I got another cousins that are lawyers. So now I don't have to go outside of my family for anything. Now I can just go straight to them. And because I'm going directly to my family, most likely they're going to give me a kickback for sending them new clients and customers. So we're all circulating the money within ourselves. You know, true generational wealth happens when you can develop a small ecosystem within your close, tight-knit friends and family and then build each other up. We have been in instances where we could not get jobs, so we created our own. And since we were able to do that, now we are in the inner circles, especially here in Detroit, Michigan. We bring our kids to the meetings. When my wife does her taxation of seminars, our kids are there. When my wife does her, because my wife is heavily involved in fashion in the Detroit area. She's one of the leaders of fashion in Detroit silently. But when she has events, guess who's there? My daughters are there. When I'm doing basketball events, I'm speaking with these NBA players. When my kids get a little bit older, I'm going to introduce them to that if one of my kids wants to do sports. But they're going to be well inclined in business. So we said that generational wealth is having the mindset. We said it's developing your credit. We say it's your family. Another thing for generational wealth is actually capitalizing off of your gifts. Think about it. God wants you to prosper. He does not want you broke.
Right.
You know what I mean? He doesn't want you broke. And the way that He does not want you broke because he has literally given you gifts that you are to use to help sustain yourself in this life. If I've been given the ability to be a great communicator, why wouldn't I do public speaking? Why wouldn't I do music? Why wouldn't, if I'm in communications, why wouldn't I write a book? If he blessed me with being inclined for sports, why wouldn't I play basketball? Why wouldn't I run cross country? You know what I mean? Why wouldn't I use my experience and put a camp together to help players in this journey so that they can be further than where I am when they get my age? So all of these things, all of these gifts that God has given you, they are literally designed to prosper you. So if you are not prosperous, especially during this time, have to do some reevaluations regarding using your gifts. And the very last way, the fifth way, how you're going to move forward with generational wealth is with God. You cannot move forward without the heavenly spirit. You can't move forward without tapping in with him, without communicating, without talking. Even if you're imagining just talking to somebody, quote unquote, that you don't think isn't there, trust me, he's there and he's listening. In fact, he's inside each and every one of us. You know what I mean? How could you even think about being wealthy when you are not whole as a person? You can't move forward. You cannot play. For example, you can't play basketball with a broken foot and be successful. You might get up and down the floor a few times, but you're not going to play 82 games in the season because you're not whole. You have to take some time to rest, to have your body complete. Well, it's the same with God. You have to take time and rest and get your spirit complete so that you can be focused, so that you can have your vision. And then once you receive the vision, then you can move forward in your destiny. And I'm going to tell you this, you are not moving forward in your destiny. You're not moving forward in your purpose because God has a purpose for every 7 billion people. He got a purpose for every person. You are not moving forward in your purpose. You will not be here very long. The purpose that he had for you, he's going to give it to somebody else. So me, I'm doing everything I can possible to use all of my gifts, service the players, but ultimately to service the man upstairs. He gave me everything I need. He allowed me to have great health during COVID. He allowed me to overcome it. He allowed our businesses to thrive. But he allowed us to be mentally healthy and wealthy to where we can see this as an opportunity to help other people.
Thank you so much for that, Darrin. So let's tell the audience, right, the listeners, how they can stay connected to you. And also to give them that information about how to get your book, especially parents who are really, truly trying to lead their children in the right direction, or athletes who are in present moment trying to figure out what their next steps are. Let them know, Darrin.
So thank you guys again. The name of our website is ambassyinternational.com. That's where you can learn more information about our company and helping athletes get international scholarships, pursuing their professional basketball careers, as well as financial literacy. For our book, Basketball Secrets, 10 Secrets to Becoming a Professional Basketball Player, it is now featured on Amazon.com. You can order there, or you can actually visit our website at AmbassyInternational.com to follow the prompts to order your copy today.
So it's Boomer in the middle, right? Boomer Williams. Okay. Give us a Bible verse or quote that'll keep our listeners rocking through the week.
Okay. So I'm going to give you guys my favorite verse. Many of you may have heard it. Maybe you have not heard it, but my favorite Bible verse is Psalms 82:6. Psalms 82:6 reads, I say, you are God. You are all children of the Most High. That's Psalms 82:6. So this verse is extremely special to me, and I know it's going to help you. He has so much power that he has literally given you the power to create your own change and create your own destiny and move forward in the vision that he has given you. He has literally given you the power. He's giving you the power to overcome. He's giving you the power to heal yourself. He has given you the power to create great relationships. He's giving you the power to dream. He's giving you the power to be patient, allow things to manifest. He's giving you the power to put yourself in position. He's giving you the power to think about this. God operates in miracles and blessings through other people. Think of I'm not sure of your demographic of people who are hungry. Like I can tell you times where I was hungry and I didn't have money to buy food for myself. And God knew this. And within the next 5 minutes, I was being offered food. The hustle, you wake up early, you walk, you understand? So that's how God operates in his blessings through other people. My challenge for you, my challenge for all of the listeners right now, I want you to think of times previously where you needed something and God has sent you what you needed in the forms of other people. And then the greatest challenge is this week. I want you to concentrate. I want you to analyze, and I want you to be in expectation of his blessings through other people.
Be a blessing always. If you have the ability to bless someone, bless them. And the Bible lets us know that we shouldn't expect anything back. Remember that. So you all, thank you, Darrin, again for showing up and showing out. You all have a blessed week. And like always, grab your crown and walk in purpose. Y'all have a blessed one.